I'm going to come back to that date thing.
Yeah.
But I want to speak to Andrew. And Andrew, like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, it is so hard to manage even one location in the business. So hard to manage one team of, employees or 10 people there. You have multiple offices, multiple time zones. How many hours in a day you work?
Do you honest answer?
Absolutely honest.
Anywhere between 14 and 16 at the moment.
Actually, that's my anywhere between 14 and 16.
Yeah.
So I think other people would not be far away from that, probably. Okay, so please tell us, how do you manage your international business? Because I see that as a challenge in terms of different time zones, different team, different offices. How do you manage? Can you take us through a typical day in your life?
A typical day would be rise between 5:30 and 6, and check emails usually into Hong Kong, Shanghai first, because they're getting toward the end of their day. I try and get to the gym at least 3 times a week, so I go for a run, clear the head, come back, breakfast, check emails, head to the office. And then the day starts in Ireland. And then home around 6:30, have a bite to eat, log on to the US then until about 12 in the morning. That'd be a typical day. I'm actually getting tired of listening to myself saying that. No, it doesn't happen every single day. But it really depends on the items that come up in the day, the projects that we have on, what has to be dealt with. I do try and get out of the office sometimes, even during the day for half an hour, 45 minutes, just to clear the head, or get out for meetings when you're not still at the desk. But in terms of global occasions, I mean, like you said, 21 years in the Navy. So I would be disciplined enough in terms of when I take something that I have to do, I do it. I'm a firm believer that there's no such thing as multitasking. I think people that say that multitasking, in my opinion, is they're not as productive as they could be. Because I think you can concentrate on 3 or 4 things at one time to make it really effective and efficient. So over the last 2 or 3 years, I've definitely changed my habits. As much as I've been disciplined in the Navy, I haven't brought it into my business. I've been as ratty and as scatty as most entrepreneurs in business, running around trying to do a million things. But as you said in your opening introduction, you take a lot from mentors and leaders in business and how they actually do things, and if you can take 1 or 2 nuggets away every time and apply it to your business, it definitely does make a difference.
Because we know that working long hours is not a success recipe.
Absolutely.
I think you mentioned about the discipline. I'm going to come back to that part there as well. What are your top learnings or things you would have done differently if you had a chance again to do?
I think in general, any mistakes you make in business should be seen as a learning opportunity. Failing, and I equate mistakes to failing. It could be failing in something small, but it's a learning opportunity. And I think in Ireland it's an innate problem that we have, that failing is absolutely catastrophic. But it isn't. Like, failing takes a wide range from getting out of your own side of bed in the morning to losing $1 million project. But I mean, everything in between, they're all learning opportunities that you can actually. I'm not going to do that again. I'll learn from that, and then you can just make it better the next time. So I always embrace that. I mean, it's a part of life that I've come to realize. I mean, in the military, failing wasn't an option for certain situations, but ultimately, it's okay to fail in ways. If you don't take them as a learning opportunity for your business, like we said, you'll never grow as an individual yourself. And I've made quite a few. I'm sure as many as Hillary, and probably even more. But like Hillary, again, I never went to college, and then I left school at 17 and never finished my leaving cert. Obviously, I was of 8, just get a job, help out, and life. There's nothing like life as a learning curve to see what happens and what you have to do. Very quickly, I learned that people skills are key in life, and how you get on with people, how you get on with teams, how you get on with individuals. You generate a lot of business from that, and somebody said, you're going to sell your brand, but ultimately you're selling yourself and your business. And people like doing business with people at the end of the day. As much as it's a high-tech world, people like a flesh-to-flesh handshake, a smile in the corridor. People do like that interaction, and ultimately people like doing business with people. So, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Make as many as you like. Once they're not catastrophic, of course.
So, what are the biggest mistakes you made, and you wish you could have avoided that?
Probably the first mistake is I waited way too long to hire a proper leadership team.
Waited too long for
hiring a leadership team.
Okay.
Like that sucked into the business, And as it exponentially grew, kind of felt that I had to do more and control more. But it's actually the complete opposite. You need to actually let go and let people that are actually more qualified and more better at that position do their job. I heard something recently, actually, in one of the books I'm reading, is that you should have a value in life of your income and just take it as say $250,000 is your income goal for this year. So you divide that by 2,000 hours, that's 125 euros an hour. If I'm doing any task other than 125 euros an hour, it's a waste of my time. So there's somebody for everybody, for every task. I'm not saying that people have less value, but if I'm marketing myself as a consultant and going out, I'm saying, right, I'm 125 euros an hour, why would I be doing a 20 euro task? And I was doing that. I was running photocopying, getting inputs out of the stationery locker, going to get milk for the canteen. I mean, obviously when you're a one-man show, you have to do that.
I think that as a business owner, that's such an important lesson for you, for all of us, that is to put a value on our time. As Andrew said earlier, 2,000 hours in a year?
Well, if you take your holidays and everything,
2,000 hours in a year, and if the income goal is 100,000 there, that is the hourly rate. So basically, we need to put a value and try to replace ourselves from doing the low pay of activities and focus on the high pay of activities, which will move the needle in the business.
Correct.
Great learning. Now, Andrew, I will be morbid for a second, so please bear with me, right? So one of the book I read, the Start With Why. I'm sure you read about Simon Sinek, right? In one of the chapters, Simon talked about that a hit by a bus test for your business, which means that if you get hit by a bus tomorrow or by 3 would your business survive? So Andrew, you mentioned that you work 60, 40 hours a day. What would happen if you're not physically able to work 3 to 6 months? What would happen to your business?
I'll hire Tom. I think he's looking for a job. He's leaving, yeah.
Because this is the chance for us to have that. What would happen, right? My livelihood, my mortgage, kids, and everybody, it just scares me.
I think ultimately, for any business, whether you're a one-off or a multinational, or you're expanding into new markets and your teams are growing, your staff is growing, ultimately, foundation was mentioned a few times. The foundation in the business has to be key. Now, as an environmental safety business primarily, and we've branched into a lot of other areas now as the company is growing, but ISO was a big thing for us. We were going out to help clients actually attain ISO accreditation, and we actually didn't have it ourselves. And I am a firm believer that monkey see, monkey do. So if I go to a client and I'm selling it or partner service, I'd like to think that I have used it, or we offer it and we know it. So that was a big learning thing for me. So really, if we're going to offering clients this particular service, we should have it ourselves. So we went on a journey then of over 12 months, putting in the ISO 9001 2015 quality management system, which basically effectively looks at every single role within the organisation, looks at all the key elements of your business, and contingency plans, just for the event of Andy breaks a leg while wall climbing or falls off the treadmill and he's out for 6 months. That those roles are all defined. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what to do. So you essentially have that kind of go-to manual where you say, new person starts today. What happens with orientation? Section 16 looks at orientation.
So you have identified each and every step in the business now, and people are aware of that. Are they all documented?
Well, it has to be documented.
It has to be documented.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the process. What I said now, it has changed an awful lot over the years that it's not documented now to within an inch of your life.